Okay, welcome everybody. We're on bye week 2. Just wanted to give you an update of what the schedule is going to be. We will be back to work today, practice Tuesday, practice Wednesday. Mike Joseph and his gang will get them for a heavy day on Thursday. Get out on the road, recruit some. We got to take advantage of the days that we're allotted to be able to go out and do that. So we'll be out Thursday and Friday. Then back to work on Saturday with, Mike will lift the guys real hard on Saturday, and then Sunday will be a heavy practice day, much like an in-season Tuesday would be. So we'll practice Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, travel on Wednesday, and go play Thursday night up in Fort Worth. So that's where we're at, and, looking forward to getting back to work here today. Take some questions.
Terrell Chestnut, any other injuries? How's Terrell?
He's day to day. I mean, he's, tries hard and has had a shoulder for quite some time. Actually had it before this game. Tried to play through it, was too sore. So he needs this week. We've had 4 hard games in a row. So the rest is going to do them all some good. For this week, so we will utilize this week obviously to get everybody as healthy as we possibly can, and then Sunday is where it's important to see where everybody's at. So we'll make sure that he's resting. Yodney was banged up in the game. We'll rest him all week. Tyler Orlowski could hardly even walk out there. We'll rest him all week. Wendell, has a lot's been made about him. Specific guys question why we're not using him very much. I can assure you we would use him as much as we possibly can. He hasn't practiced a day in the last 2 weeks, and he gets out there and just gives everything he's got for the team. So he will benefit from this week as well. So. I would imagine when I talk to y'all next Monday, I have a little better sense as far as where everybody's at.
Coach, with David Sills last week, you used him. What's the plan with him going forward? I mean, receiver, is he backup quarterback for you? Running back? I mean, what all will you do with Sills?
Running back? He's 6'3", 190 pounds.
What all will you do with him now that you've...
We'll keep experimenting with him. I mean, he's been playing receiver for about 2-3 weeks. I mean, this kid's been groomed to be a quarterback, played quarterback his whole life. Signed here to play quarterback. All spring he played quarterback. If you go back and remember what we said about him after the Georgia Southern game, the kid loves to play football and did everything that we asked him to do for being the scout team player of the week for Georgia Southern. So when you get into the weekly grind of preparing for an opponent, there's not a whole lot of time for developmental aspect of things. So, he was playing quarterback on Thursday nights when we have our little Thursday night football stuff. I started playing some receiver for Gibby down there because we don't have a ton of bodies to play receiver on scout team. Turned some people's heads down there, so I took him last week and had a talk with him and practiced and looked pretty good. So asked him if he wanted to go play ball. He said, man, I just want to do anything that I can do to help the team. So we put him out there at wideout, and I wouldn't have put him out there if I didn't think that he could compete. So I put him out there, and he competed, and he looked good, so we'll probably keep doing it. Unless you got a better idea, Mitch. You think running back's the thing to do with him?
If Scouter would go down with Sills or his crest...
Nah, he hasn't taken enough reps at quarterback. I mean, he's been down there on scout team, so... William Crest's been taking reps. Chris Cheganov's been taking reps. Those guys could go in there and run the offense, would have the best chance to go in and run the offense based on the reps that we've been giving them. It'd be tough to put a guy in at quarterback that hasn't repped there since August.
What's the most difficult part of developing those young quarterbacks throughout the course of the season? Because I'm sure you got to balance that with prepping Skyler each week.
You can only rep one quarterback, so he's been getting the reps. We've been doing some different things with William to get him involved. That's worked out good. We'll continue to explore options when it comes to him and what he can do. And that third-team quarterback's always been tough to rep. I mean, everywhere I've been, there's been minimal reps for a third-team quarterback. There's just not enough time in the day to be able to get those reps. So Chugs has been the guy that is smart, is in tune with what we're doing. If we need him to get out there and play, then we will. If not, then we'll utilize his red shirt and, start repping him in January. My plan with David moving forward at quarterback is, because you can't really developmental guys, practice those guys very much in the fall, do what you got to do to help the team win, and then January we'll reassess it and see who's on campus and who we need to rep.
With Skyler, Dana, he did some good things in that game. The stats look pretty good. If you had a chance to go back, how much of a bounce back would you say he had with some of those issues you mentioned, like his clock being sped up, having happy feet, stuff like that?
I thought he attacked the week really good, ignored what the outside is saying, and used that to motivate him. Studied the game plan hard. Got to spend a little time with his family because he's from Fort Worth. So did that. That was good for him to be around a lot of people that believe in him and patted him on the back, told him they loved him and all that stuff. I think was good for him. Was motivated to play, knew what we were asking him to do. Took a bunch of big, deep breaths and went out there and played ball. It was probably the main reason I ran quarterback draw with him on the first play. I was hoping he'd get the crap knocked out of him to release a lot of tension and anxiety, which I think is good for him. But I think he played well. The clock is still ticking a little bit too quick. That has something to do with our O-line needing to do a better job of protecting. We played a very, very, very good defensive line. 75 is the best defensive lineman I've faced in probably 20 years. The stuff that he was doing was unbelievable. And that's a challenge. When you see that in front of you, that's a challenge for any quarterback. Oakman is playing better than I've seen him. The other end, 92, rushed the passer better than Oakman did. So that was a good D-line. We're going to continue to face good D-lines, so he's got to continue to have confidence in the guys in front of him. They need to continue to improve with their protection. With that said, I do think the intermediate routes were better. We hit Cron and David and Shelton on some, some intermediate stuff, which is what needed to get a little bit better. I thought Skyler threw the deep ball really well. We had 2 or 3 touchdowns downfield that he threw great balls on, and we're this close to hitting 2 or 3 more, which would have put us at a huge day offensively. So I think we're getting closer, and I think he's a big part of that.
What is it that you've seen out of Karan that has made you guys ready, more willing to be able to run him out there more and more in recent weeks?
Yeah, just need more bodies to continue to play. It's a long season, and you guys are going to get wore out. Guys are going to get wore down, and other bodies need to step up and play. And so, Karan's new. He's been on campus since June. Kevin was on campus for a whole year before things started clicking for him. And I'm not comparing the two. I'm not. I won't. But he's just starting to settle in. He's starting to understand what we're asking him to do. He's working hard. He had his best week of practice last week. We knew it was going to be hot, and we knew it was going to be a long game. So we forced ourselves to play Karan, play David, and then on the inside, play more people as well, which we had Shorts, we had Mathis, and we had Jordan all playing inside. I haven't played 3 inside receivers in a long time. I played 3 this week. Dante Thomas-Williams got in the game at running back to provide some depth. So that's going to be important moving forward for all those guys.
And you talked about how deep Baylor's receiver core is. You're talking about developing your own, the process. Can you just talk about that process, the time period it takes to get that kind of depth in that position?
Yeah, and I'm not saying we're the same by any stretch, but we develop receivers. I think if you look at my track record and Art's track record, we develop receivers through how we practice and how we do things. Their number 4 is a prime example of a fourth-year guy that is 6'3", the J. Lee kid, 6'3", 220 pounds, and fast and physical. And you look at him and you go, wow, that dude's going to be playing for a long time, and he is. Corey Coleman, another guy who's a third-year player, been in the system for 3 years and has been in the weight room for a long time. Physical, fast, twitchy, has developed into what I think is the top receiver in college football. And then K.D. Cannon has been there for 2 years and is going to be making plays for quite a while. All three of those guys are NFL-type bodies that have a good rapport with their quarterback. We will be there, and I've said this forever, how quick we can get there is my job. We have a bunch of first-year receivers or second-year receivers that I think we're going to be talking about for a long time. We would rather talk about those guys right now or towards the end of the season, along the same lines that we were talking about Kevin last year. How quick we can get there, I don't know. I know number 1 for us is getting really close. He's getting really close. We've got to get the other guys to continue to develop, continue to mature, continue to build confidence to where they can make a bunch of plays to make a difference in the game. We're not there yet, but we're going to get there pretty quick.
Dana, midway point, it's always a good time to evaluate where's this team better, where's it worse than you thought when the season started?
I think offensively we're pretty close to where I think we thought we'd be. Our deal from the beginnings has been just keep getting better. A lot of youth, a lot of new players, a lot of inexperience. Just keep getting better, and I think we are. We're on track. We need to continue that path. Defensively, probably had to reassess things just a little bit with the loss of an All-American guy that's played a bunch. But I think the deal with our defense, just keep playing your butt off and be consistent. Just be as consistent as you possibly can. Happy with where special teams is as well. There's been a lot of good things happening in special teams, and we need to continue to use that as a positive and make sure that it doesn't hurt us in any way, which it hadn't.
Dana, coming off of Blue Grove's a finalist for Lambert, is there any sort of reason why he maybe hasn't been performing as well as he did last year?
Yeah, he's had a rough go of it. He had an injury and camp that we've talked about. That kept him. He wasn't full speed kicking until a week before the first game. So he's been playing catch up. And then here in the last couple of weeks, he's been under the weather as well. So, he's fighting hard. He's trying. He's got the right mentality. It's just the physical nature of what needs to exist is not there right now. So the good news is it's not a goofy kicker thing. He's trying, and we all believe in him. He's just got to get healthy, and he's not quite there right now.
I know you mentioned using the extra time to recruit, but considering you do have those extra days until the Thursday game, is it a good time to install anything else that you might not ordinarily do on a week-to-week basis, especially on the offensive side of the ball that you dictate?
There's always wrinkles that we can work on a little bit, but we're going to put in the wishbone and do some wing tee things, and we're running the quarterback so much anyway. We're going to start pitching it left and right. So, you just got to. To me, again, offensively, it's about improvement. We got to. The only way you improve is just by keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It becomes second nature, and you're not focusing on what to do. You're comfortable with what to do. You know how to do it, and you just keep getting better and better at it. It's the only way that you can get better. We got a system that we believe in. We got players that we believe in. We got coaches that we believe in. We're just going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep getting better at it. It's the only It's the only approach. So I don't think what we're doing is the problem. I think we just need to keep doing it and doing it and doing it to the point where it becomes second nature and we're better at it.
Dana, what are your thoughts of the kids you're redshirting right now? Do you use this week to scrimmage those kids a little bit?
We scrimmage those guys every Thursday, so we won't do anything different this week. It's more about rest and I think getting guys away from it is important. I mean, we're here so much, and we obviously with the 20-hour rule, we can't keep them a whole lot more than that anyway. But the guys come up and they're here a lot, and just to get some downtime is important. We gave them Sunday off, we gave them Monday off, we'll give them Friday off, just to get away from it. They can't take any mini vacations or anything like that, but they can just have some downtime to be normal student athletes. I think is important. With that said, the young developmental guys are always developing. They have separate developmental lift times, and sometimes when we're in here meeting on some things, they're downstairs getting a developmental lift in. How much time can you actually practice those guys? We devote Thursday nights as that day. This Thursday we can't do it because we got to go recruit, but next Tuesday, which we'll treat as a Thursday, we'll practice those guys again. So who looks good and who doesn't, I don't know. They just need to keep playing.